Welcome to IICLE TV. I'm Patrick Nugent. I'm here with my great friend, Kristi Vetri, who is really second to none when it comes to being out in front of the issue of same-sex partnership and things like that. Even before the civil union laws came to the state of Illinois, Kristi was somebody that was working hard in these directions to make sure that people had legal rights and opportunities and contracts with each other that would work out for them as they got older and they got into the end of life. So I wanted to talk to her a little bit today about how she sees this new law, about how this law may affect you and how it might affect your legal career as well, and just kind of primer for a little bit of her amazing expertise here at IICLE. How are you?
I'm great, Patrick.
It's always fantastic to have you.
Well, I think it's good to be here. We'll see here in a minute.
So tell me about, how you were doing things way in front of this law, so I'm sure this hasn't necessarily changed the focus of your practice and your knowledge, but tell us what this law is and what it means to the lawyers in Illinois.
Well, when Illinois decided to pass the civil union law, they had to get together enough senators and enough congressmen in order to vote for this thing. And in order for us to get enough votes in the House, we needed 61 votes. What happened is they had to start pulling in coalitions, and they had to start giving things under the civil union law in order to get the votes they needed in order to get it passed. So what happened was they have a religious freedom component in it that said, oh, if your religion does not believe in same-sex marriages, you can opt out of the law, and you don't have to perform the civil union. So then we have our Christian fundamentalists and our religious concerns that came
today in the news. There's a big thing on Catholic charities because the possibility that they might lose some funding in Joliet due to the fact that they're foster home people and stuff like that, right? Yep.
Yeah. So we've got this religious underpinning with that, and then the elder law community came in and said, hey, this civil union law could have a profound impact on how we practice elder law, and here's why. We're seeing more and more and more of our clients coming to us really, really upset because they can't get married for financial reasons. Because if they got married, they're going to lose their pensions that they've become so dependent upon in order to keep the quality of life that they became accustomed to while they were married all those years before their spouse died. So between bringing all that in and then the same-sex coalitions in, we came up with the civil union law that applies across the board, whether you're same-sex or heterosexual couples.
Right, so it's just non-traditional and it's just...
Yeah,
right, yep.
It's just an alternative to marriage. Well, what I think is going to happen with all of this, because we have focused now on the elder law community and we have focused on an alternative to same-sex couples to marriage. Now you can go have a civil union instead of getting married. And I'm not real sure if you're a young person why you would necessarily opt for a civil union, just as a side comment. I think it's more appropriate for your elderly or older couples who are worried about the financial concerns of getting remarried.
Right.
The state law applies to state rights, the federal, but does not apply to federal rights because of the DOMA law.
Right.
But DOMA defines marriage between one man and one woman as having some type of legal mechanism in place. So the literal meaning under DOMA, it seems to me that a heterosexual couple in the state of Illinois that decides to have a civil union is going to be considered married under DOMA because of the way DOMA defines marriage.
Absolutely.
Okay? And for our practitioners that love to do litigation and they love to practice these little loopholes and these little crazy nuances, oh my goodness. What a huge thing's going to happen once we get the first good case that we can start going through the machinery to push the issue to see how DOMA is going to actually react to opposite sex couples in a civil union. I think it's a huge area.
The great thing of always talking to you is just 10 minutes with you, it leads right to the very next course that we're going to have to develop, the next hot topic because we are looking at problems here, right? We're looking at litigation problems. Yep. We're looking at, I would imagine, divorce problems or dissolution of the union, a civil union, which is going to be something that's going to come about out of this, right?
It's going to be easy to dissolve a union, just like it's almost too easy. That's another editorial comment. It's almost too easy to get a divorce, all right? It'll be just as easy to get a civil union. The problem with it, though, is that with a civil union, you're going to have tax consequences that can just be horrible, because now you're going to pay income taxes on transfers of property with a dissolution between civil union partners.
Oh.
So you've got tax issues that are just going to be abound with divorce. But divorce, a civil union divorce is going to be conducted the same way under the same statutory scheme as dissolution of a marriage. In fact, the day after the law was imposed, we had our first divorce of a civil union couple. Obviously, the civil union was done in a state other than Illinois, but we had our first dissolution.
In the elder law field out there, how many? I think more and more lawyers are actually coming into dealing with this type of focus with their clients and these type of problems that are existing with their clients.
Yeah, and what we're finding right now with the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys, we have about 4,500 members from coast to coast.
Right.
Which, when you think of the overall scheme of thing, with the baby boomers coming on board, that's not a lot of attorneys. I mean, you've got more than that in the city of Chicago itself. So when you think that there's only 4,500 attorneys coast to coast that belong to the National Academy, it's an exploding field. And so we're real busy. The elder law practitioners that have done this for a while are super busy, because we're having family law attorneys, estate planning attorneys. We're having attorneys that are in these side areas, even some tax attorneys now, that are coming to us as elder law practitioners going, okay, I know how to do a will, I know how to do a trust, I know how to do power of attorneys, but I don't know how to protect their home if one of them gets sick because they forgot to get long-term care insurance.
Right.
So now they need the elder law attorney in place in order to structure a long-term care plan for them when we don't have long-term care insurance that can keep that client independent, living at home, out of the nursing home, hopefully for the rest of their life. So what we're finding as elder law attorneys is that we've become the focal point of the head of a pin, where we've got all other practitioners looking to us to come in and consult with them.
Yep.
So it's a wide open field.
I think it's amazing, and I think that, so for all of you young lawyers out there that don't know where you're going to hang your hats, just take a look at how many people are going to be retiring, getting older. Think about the occurrence of what Alzheimer's is doing to that particular generation, how the medical and healthcare industry are being affected by the retirees coming in, what we're dealing with politically. These are all avenues where we're seeing in the law, these, it's almost like what I love the most about you elder law attorneys is you are really at the top of understanding that your practices require a multidisciplinary approach, that you need to go to other experts, you need to talk to social workers, you need to talk to doctors, even if you've got some type of diagnosis that is going to affect the estate.
Exactly.
You need to be estate planners, you need to be
Financial
insurance
planners.
Financial people. So it's an amazing field. And you are, I think, are on the board of directors of NALA right now. I'm
I
right
am.
about that. And you're also editor-in-chief of their
publication.
That, for those of you who don't know, is the National Association of Elder Law Attorneys, and they are fantastic. And they actually partner with us each and every year for a 2-day event that we do in Lisle, out in Chicago, Illinois area. It's called our Elder Law Short Course. This year it's going to be on November 30th and December 1st. So there'll be a little link at the bottom of this page. You can link on that, but it's a fantastic event where we have 2 days of the best elder law attorneys, we think, in the state of Illinois, talking about very Illinois-specific ideas, lots of breakouts, lots of social networking ideas, lunches served both days. So just trying to be a salesperson for that, but I know you're on the faculty once again for that this year, correct?
I am, and I'm not going to be talking about civil unions. Thank you very much, Larry. I'm going to be talking about how the Deficit Reduction Act has been implemented in other states. So hopefully we can give some insights into the Illinois practitioners on how they're going to cope with the new rules that we're going to see in the state of Illinois.
That's fantastic. Well, you're one of my favorite people. I always appreciate you coming to Chicago. I appreciate talking with you, and thank you so much.
Patrick.
Also, you can look online. Kristi's got several available courses that are online. She does do a elder law and civil union that we just taped very recently that's going to be online, so look for that. It's a wonderful hour and a half of CLE, and thank you so much for all your help and your
Patrick.
expertise.
Thanks.